Afternoon to you, everybody. 4 o'clock on the start of or the end of your Wednesday, if you will. It's been quite a day. We've been dealing with this lake effect snow all day long. We want to thank you for joining us and want you to grab your phones and join us on Facebook as well. You can comment, and throughout the next couple of minutes, we will be looking through those comments, hearing from you. We want to know what it looks like in your community, what kind of day you've been having out there, because it's been all over the place.
Yeah, and you said good afternoon or the end of your day, the start of your day. And for a lot of you, you're stuck at home, so you probably don't even know what time it is. So the purpose of us coming on air right now is to talk to you about what's going on out there, what we're hearing as far as the very latest on the conditions, the travel bans, the closures. So here we go. 3 storm-related deaths since this past weekend. So sad news to pass along about that. Also, the Sabres game postponed. So if you're planning on going to that, that is postponed. Travel bans are in effect for Buffalo, south of Broadway, Cheektowaga, Lackawanna, Lancaster, Hamburg, Orchard Park, West Seneca, and North Tonawanda. I know that all of us drove to work today.
Yeah.
And how was your drive-in?
It was a scary scene, whiteout conditions. I took an extra 30 minutes for what's usually a 15-minute drive coming down Main Street. You can't see sometimes, the wind is blowing, but at the time there wasn't much snow on the roads. So me and my Honda Civic, we toughed it and we were able to make it out. But our team has been out all across Western New York all day long. So we're gonna give you kind of a tour of Western New York as we continue to go through this, because really it's just been building on top of what we've been going through for the past couple of days and weeks.
Yeah, this lake effect snow band has been on the move. So it has been changing places. This morning it was in the metro area. Overnight it was in those hardest hit areas of the south towns. But now for the better part of the afternoon, it has been sitting in the north towns and across portions of Niagara County. So right now we're seeing some good news. This lake effect snow band is starting to break apart. You'll see some holes in that snow band here around Tonawanda. So there's a little bit of dry weather to be had. This is a very, very good news, but still some heavy activity going on around Royalton into Alabama, Newstead, Rapids, over toward Medina as well. Niagara Falls still seeing some light snow showers. This band is expected to sink southward and push through the metro area over the next several hours. And it may actually stay parked there for a while before moving down into southern Erie County later tonight, probably after midnight. But check out the visibility right now. Wherever that snow band is, the visibility is sharply reduced down to near zero into Pew, into Clarence too. There's a lot of blowing and drifting too. The winds are gusting over 45 miles an hour. Right now in Buffalo, in downtown Buffalo, the visibility down to about a half a mile. And this is very interesting too. This report just in, this is the 4-day storm total report. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, how come I'm not on here? These are the only 3 cities that I have confirmation for. So West Seneca, between Sunday and now, 65 inches. Hamburg, 62.5. South Buffalo, 60.5. So yeah, it's taking a long time to dig out for those folks, but they have had the afternoon to really start the cleanup because they've actually seen some sunshine there. But we still have that lake effect snow warning. We are not out of the woods yet. Yeah. This warning goes all the way till 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. So you think that tomorrow is going to be a better day. Maybe not so, because all of us are going to be.
You're supposed to give us good news.
Well, people are commenting, people are chiming in, MB, people are asking you questions. Yeah. We've got Sandra here who says, when is this storm finally going to be over?
I would say Friday we'll see some snow showers and it'll be easier to get around town. Yeah, Friday. Okay. Friday and into the weekend we'll start to warm things up. And of course, with these really, really bitter temperatures, we're still stuck in the teens. Look at these numbers right now, 18 in Buffalo, 14 at Jamestown. The normal daytime high should be 32 degrees. So we're way below normal. And when you factor in the winds, they are gusty. The wind chills are right at 0 or just below. Now, right now in downtown, we're seeing winds gusting up to 40 miles an hour. So it's really, even if it's not snowing, it's blowing that fluffy snow all over the place. It's not a dense snow. It's light and fluffy. You can't make a good snowman out of it at all.
Oh, my son managed to do it.
Yeah. Oh, good for him.
There you go.
Decked out in Buffalo Bills gear. Right,
good for him. Here's the forecast for this model is showing by 6 o'clock this snow band's going to get out of Niagara County, start moving through the metro area into those hardest hit areas South Buffalo into West Seneca, Lancaster, and then stay there for several hours before moving into southern Erie County. I'd say that's going to happen after midnight. So things are going to get better for all of us. But in this snow band, we could pick up an additional maybe 6, 11, 12 inches of snow tonight. So it's going to add to these snow totals. Now, this is tomorrow. Leah and Taylor, check this out. This is 10 a.m. Widespread snow showers with some lake enhancement too. But things will start to improve later tomorrow night. So tonight, the forecast is for that lake snow to move south of Buffalo gradually, with temperatures dropping down into the upper teens. Tomorrow, it's another snowy day. It's not going to be as cold. It won't be as windy. So those are good things. We're back into the mid-20s, but it's a general widespread snowfall that's going to grease up all of the roadways all across Western New York from north to south, all the way down to the Pennsylvania state line, all the way up to Lake Ontario. But the Super 7-day forecast does offer some relief. By the weekend, especially for Bill's Sunday, it's going to look nicer around here. Partly sunny, highs in the 20s. And then we warm up beyond that going into next week. We're calling for these 40-degree temperatures. I know people are thinking, yay, but it's really not good for the lake, because the lake right now is 39 degrees. We have had such an incredibly warm start to winter, and the lake never cooled down. That's probably one of the big reasons for these 5-inch-an-hour snowfall, because we typically don't see that, because the warm water it just gives heat energy to storm development for lake effect snow. So it just puts out more precipitation.
Meteorologist Mary Beth Roble, thank you so much for tracking this around the clock. Our meteorologists working so hard over these past couple days. We want to keep you updated on what's going on in your communities. I know that the Depew, Lancaster area has really been getting rocked. And we do have now the town supervisor of the town of Lancaster, Rob Leary, joining us here. Rob, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming and helping to update people.
My pleasure to be here. And I can't hear you anymore.
Oh, no, now he can't hear us.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Can you hear us? Well,
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Is all good?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us what it's looking like in your community and what you guys have been dealing with today.
Well, right now, it's not too bad. As you look outside, it is gusty wind that's blowing the snow around, but at least it stops snowing. Over the last 24 hours, although not official, we estimate that we had about 28 inches of snow here in Lancaster, added to our previous total of about 36. So we're somewhere around 64 inches of snow. Our streets are clear, but again, the wind is blowing the snow back onto the streets. We've had 9 trucks out constantly since last night. Again, our roads are clear right now. Right now, we're staying in a driving band, because we're not quite sure what the snow band is going to do when it comes back over Lancaster. A couple days ago, it just sat over us for long periods of time. So we wanted to make sure it passes over us again before we alleviate the driving ban.
Closures, delays, what's the latest on those?
I'm sorry. Right now, we are, we have a driving ban. Our delays, basically the government offices here in the town of Lancaster are all closed. We're going to take a look at those again tomorrow. Town hall was closed today. All our government offices were closed. And we're going to wait and see what happens tomorrow. But if the schools close, our senior center will be closed. Possibly town hall again. We got to make sure if we only get about 4 or 5 inches of snow, we'll be fine. We'll get that cleared out and open up again. But again, we're not going to lift the ban at this point in time. We'll probably reassess about 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight.
What are you hearing from neighbors who live out there? You know, people who are probably calling your phone nonstop, who've just been going through this for days now.
Yeah, it's tough, and we appreciate their cooperation. On my street right here, we got together and we had somebody who had to get out a couple days ago when we had a break. So we worked together to get that individual out so he could go to the doctor. I mean, it's a community situation. Everybody's chipping in to help everybody out. But yeah, people want to get out. It's been a long time with the weekend and the current snow over the last 24 hours. And again, we're hoping that this ban will pass us over and we'll get some relief after that. Do one more quick check of the roads, get our trucks out there one more time, and then be able to lift the band and hopefully get people back out to their normal lives. But again, we greatly appreciate the cooperation of our residents. Without them, we couldn't get things done safely. And so far, we've been pretty lucky that way. We've had some people stuck in some ditches, no serious injuries. Fire department's been fairly calm. Police department the same. So we feel pretty good, and we appreciate their cooperation.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So as far as cooperation goes, there are people who obviously are essential workers, have to get to work, but you haven't had any major issues, right?
The only thing we've had here in Lancaster, no, we've had no major issues. We've had a lot of Amazon trucks coming into the Amazon facility over at Walden and Pavement, and apparently they're not getting the notice that there's a driving ban. We had the same thing during the last storm this past weekend. So we're trying to get them out of the area as quickly as possible. We don't want them getting stuck in the town of Lancaster. So we want to get them into a parking lot across the street from the Amazon facility. So they're off the road and they're not blocking our roads. So our plows can get through and it's safer.
Great. Well, we appreciate you taking time to talk to us today. Thank you so much. Keep us updated.
Bob, thank you so much. Stay warm and safe. Appreciate your time today. Appreciate you for watching and for joining us on this afternoon. We're going to stay with you, keep you updated, give you that tour of the areas in all of Western New York, let you know what's going on as this lake effect band moves its way back south and continues to impact us into this evening commute. If you're watching on TV, we're going to take a quick break. If you're watching us streaming, stay with us. We're going to keep you updated. All right, people who are here on Facebook, keep sending in your comments. Let us know what it's looking like in your communities. We'll keep pulling your comments up. Someone said they've got 5 feet. A lot of Cheektowaga area people say they're getting hit really hard right now.
Keep the driving fans on. Stay safe, everyone, says David. Buffalo, the city of good neighbors, and news stations like Channel 7. Thank you so much, Kayla.
We're going to do a quick test really quick with
I'm ready for spring too, Kayla.
Mr. Hoke. How you doing down there?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Can you hear us okay?
I can.
Okay, awesome. We are in a commercial break on TV, Facebook streaming. People are getting the behind the scenes feel here, but we are going to come back from break, do a little introduction, we'll bring you up and then chat through all the fun stuff.
Thank you. Kenmore, Tonawanda. Doesn't look like we got a lot really, but okay. All right. I don't know if all of you can hear me, but I'll try to talk louder. Let's see.
North Street isn't too bad in Allentown right now. Kayla says it was only windy and snowy in Lockport.
Yeah, a lot of people, of course, worried about the commute home tonight. Those who, us included.
Right. We have to get home at some point. You would hope so. One person says, do employees from the NFTA have to report? So the NFTA is still up and running. That's something that we've been working through and talking about. Buses are still running. The airport is still open.
You spoke with them.
I spoke with Kelly Khatib, a spokesperson from the NFTA, and we'll be able to share some of that information with you because they're trying to get people around if they can get out and about because there are still essential employees, people who need to get out and about. So the NFTA staying up and running. So I would just say to contact whoever your boss is, reach out to them. Do you have to report? But the NFTA is still up and running. Rail still running. Buses still running. Airport is open. Jocelyn says, are people still getting stuck on the throughways? We'll show you some of those cameras as soon as we can to show you what it's looking like on the streets there. But as you can see from the radar, that snow still coming down over where the throughway is. So I can imagine that it's tough to travel, tough to get around. Our friend from Blue Buffalo says, Old First Ward is getting absolutely slammed right now. South Buffalo has been getting so much of this.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Jeff Russo's been out there today, so stay with us for 5 o'clock and you'll see some of his reporting that he's been able to do.
Yeah, and yesterday I was in West Seneca and it was snowing like crazy at 1 minute and then it was sunny the next.
It's the nature of this lake effect beast, right? What are you going to get? When are you going to get it? Where's it going to move? Real Junior Caesar says, is the snowing going to last all week? We'll be okay come Friday, I believe. Okay, streaming people, we're going to come back on TV in a second.
All right, we want to welcome you back and thank you for watching. We are going to start right now with some drone video. Take a look at this, just giving you an idea. I mean, it's a beautiful picture if you're safe and warm. This is in West Seneca, where I spent much of the day yesterday. I just got an update from the highway department there. We're doing pretty good now that the snow has stopped. The road crews have been going nonstop. We've made a lot of progress, although some roads are still narrow. They open and are passable. And we've been able to start snow removal and widening roads as well. I mean, just look at that video of all of that snow. And as we've heard, you look at that and you have new snowfall. Where do you put all that snow?
Right.
So you've got trucks trying to move the snow so that you can shovel more snow, plow more roadways. Crews are so busy and just working around the clock.
It's remarkable. And to see that in West Seneca and knowing that the South towns always just get hit with the snow every single year, right? It's Western New York. This is what we deal with, but it's still a lot to handle right now. The South town's getting a little bit of a break. So with that break, we're grateful to have Town Supervisor Randy Hoke from Hamburg joining us now, who can give us a sense of what it's like and what it's been like down there. Mr. Hoke, thank you for being here with us and helping to update people. Give us a sense of what the day's been like for you.
Yeah, it's been a long few days. It's been a long week here in the town of Hamburg. We got hit with winds last week. We got hit with another lake effect event earlier in the week. And today we've been cleaning up from a surprise 3 feet of snow in the north end of our town of Hamburg. North of Route 20, we've seen upwards of 3 feet, which has really clogged a lot of our residential streets. So we've been able to make a big dent in cleaning up that areas, and now we're
Probably
bracing
need a new
for that.
battery at 5 because
We're bracing for that snow band to come back on the scene.
we're doing this. Just an
Yeah,
FYI.
one of the words that someone used yesterday when I was talking to them about this, just constant snowfall, constant cleanup, was exhausted. How are you doing through all of this? How are your crews doing and everyone out there?
We're tired. We're certainly fatigued, but we have some dedicated employees in our buildings and grounds and highway department that are committed to getting these streets clean. Additionally, we've had a lot of help from Erie County, New York State, and other municipalities who typically would get hit hard in events like these, but they've been able to send some resources our way as well in hopes that one day we'll be able to return the favor.
What is the community sense right now? You know, when you're hearing from neighbors, people who live in this area, are they fatigued? Are they coming together? I know this is what we do, help each other out, but how are people feeling?
By and large, people are coming together. There's certainly a level of frustration because some areas of our town didn't get a lot of snow in the past 24 hours. But in the interest of safety, the driving ban remains in effect. I've heard from residents and I've seen residents on social media come to each other's aid and rescue, check on each other. And it's events like these that really bring us together as a community.
What is different about, if anything, about this latest snowstorm this week in general as compared to years past or things that you've dealt with in the past?
In the past few years, we've had intense snowstorms where we've gotten 6 or 7 feet within a matter of days. We have well over 5 feet of snow here in the town of Hamburg, but that's been spread out over a week. What we do have going for us in the past couple days is the wind has died down substantially. Had the wind continued, we would be in much worse shape here in the town of Hamburg.
Town Supervisor Randy Hoke in Town of Hamburg, thank you so much for joining us. Stay warm, stay safe. We appreciate your time. Have a good rest.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
All right, everybody, we're going to keep you updated on everything that's going on. If you're just joining us on TV, we are also streaming on social media. So get your phone and make sure you engage with us. You see those comments popping
Kayla.
up on the bottom of your screen.
Right, Kayla's saying that constant cleanup
Yes.
is exhausting. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so share your comments, share what it's looking like in your communities, ask your questions. We can try to get them answered to the best of our abilities. So we went to the South towns. Let's take you up north, which has really been getting hammered all day long. Our sports director, Matt Bove, ditching the sports today, is going to have the news reporter chops to show us what it's looking like in Grand Island. Matt, what's it like?
Would you say you're a credible source for us, Mr. Bove?
I guess that depends on how you define credible. So I'll show you what I see in front of me, and then I guess you can just choose whether or not you want to believe me. But I'm on Grand Island, And this is the best it has been the entire day. You can probably see over my head, there's blue skies. It has been snowing probably since about 9 o'clock this morning. Now, back in the day, I used to do the news reporter thing. So I went and I got a yardstick and I came and I stuck it in the snow to see how much snow we got. And I know the difference between a drift and actual snowfall. And we're a little bit over a foot. But considering that that's all within the last 5, 6, 7 hours, that's a pretty significant amount of snow. I mean, I'll show you. It's not crazy, right? Like, this is my front yard. So you can see, I mean, it snowed on top of the snow that was already here. But I'd imagine this made for a pretty messy commute. My street just got plowed probably about, I don't know, an hour ago or something. But I mean, for the entire day, this was snow covered. And I know much of the rest of the island just covered in snow. And for perspective, I'm about as north as you can get. I'm on the northern point of Grand Island, so I'm as close to Niagara County as possible.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that the southern part of the island probably got even more snow because I think they were getting hit more directly with the lake effect band that eventually moved its way
Turn your
up.
camera on. Show us some more of that. Show us your driveway and your street if you can. There is a way that you can flip your camera around.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
You go.
show some of that stuff. There you go.
So I mean, like, look, I'll lean over and show you. So like, I snow plowed probably about an hour ago, and that is a little bit more than a foot. I mean, it's not anything that we can't handle, but it was pretty relentless because it happened in the middle of the day. I think usually when you see this type of snowfall, a lot of times it happens overnight. You walk out and you go, oh my gosh, what happened? But this has just been happening throughout the course of the day. This is probably some good perspective too. This is my sidewalk. So there's the difference between kind of like the new snow and what fell on the sidewalk after I snow plowed. And I mean, I did that about an hour ago, and this is what has fallen in the last hour. So it's not anything crazy, but it's certainly noticeable. I mean, it would have been a really messy commute for a lot of people, especially it would have been an impossible commute if you were trying to leave here 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning.
At its worst, what was it like?
I mean, it was like close to whiteout. It wasn't a full whiteout because I've been here in this house when you can't see across the street and you just kind of look out the window and you just see snow blustering everywhere. But I would imagine visibility was a couple hundred feet, maybe, you know, a little less than a quarter of a mile. I certainly could not see down the end of my road when I was walking outside earlier this morning to try and just check on things. So yeah, it was not great. It would have been a really messy drive.
How about your neighbors? You hearing anything from them, or how they doing?
Everybody's good. I mean, everybody wants to know if the Bills game is going to get moved again. I think that's what probably I think that's what most people are probably thinking about. And I keep saying no. This is earlier in the week. The Bills still practice today. They were able to get to the facility. We'll have that coverage tonight later. I just was not the one doing it because I couldn't get out of my house. But this did cause the Sabres game to get moved because there's a travel ban in the city, and the snow was just hammering the city for most of the day. So the league and I think the team, both teams, the Blackhawks and the Sabres, kind of came together and said, hey, this is silly. Like, we're not going to try and play a game in this. So they just moved it to tomorrow. They had the flexibility to do that because the Sabres don't play again until Saturday and the Blackhawks don't have a game for a couple more days after that. So Blackhawks are just going to kind of be stuck here for an extra day, but it is what it is. You wouldn't have been able to get people down to the arena tonight.
Tomorrow, what time is it at tomorrow?
7 o'clock. So it was supposed to be 7:30 tonight. Now it's 7 o'clock tomorrow. Hey, hopefully by then the storm is not anything close to what it was today. And then that'll allow people to actually get down and see maybe a win. Who knows?
Oh,
right.
Nice.
I hope so. Go Sabres for sure.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
And then, of course, the most important question: where's the baby? How's the baby doing?
The baby just went down for a nap. This is afternoon nap time, but I can tell you it's been fun doing Zoom calls today and then listening to the baby just make noises in the background and just kind of like, you know, be the most adorable thing in the world. So no, the baby has been good snow day entertainment, that's for sure.
Yes, enjoy that while it lasts. Because
Apple
once
Bay.
they're teenagers,
Yeah.
it's a different kind of entertainment.
Different entertainment. Matt Beauvais
If
is
you
our
call
Grand
it that.
Island correspondent, our sports director, dad, doing all the things. So, friend, go get inside and get warm, and keep shoveling that driveway so that Andrew.
You're hired, Matt, as a reporter now.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my day job though.
Good. All right. Let's. So, Mary, thank you for your comment. They need to lift the driving ban or allow private plows to operate. My car is snowed in. Everyone stay safe. So out in West Seneca yesterday, that was the town supervisor's a message that if they had a driving ban there, he wanted to make sure that the private plows could get to everyone because he heard from people like Mary who needed to get out of their driveway. And you've got a lot of essential workers. You've got people, you know, my sister's in a nursing home in Amherst. You've got all of the people that work there. That's just one example. And we're so thankful for all of you essential workers that have to brave through this, doing really important work. We appreciate it.
A lot of frustration, a lot of confusion. people really tuned in, though, to find out what's going on in their community. So we appreciate you watching us. We're going to take a break now on TV, and we're going to stay with you streaming on social media. Stick with us. Let's continue here looking through some of the comments that we got on social media. Kayla says, I hope Taylor Swift enjoys the snow. Do we think Taylor Swift is coming?
I don't know. I don't know. I like talking about the players on the football team. No, she's great. Of course.
Listen, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan,
right?
But I feel like this is what we're going to be hearing about for the next several days.
That's if we decide.
When the snow clears and Taylor Swift makes her way, that will be it. Sherry says, I live in Valley off Smith near South Park. No plow down her street.
No plow. Okay. Well, hopefully they get to you soon. Let's see. I'm in Hamburg. Are we really getting more? Where'd Mary Beth go?
I think Mary Beth's in the other room. She can come back in and answer some of these questions. But I believe the band is going to be moving back southward.
I know you were given a whole.
I know I was
weather forecast.
It was a copy and paste. It was a copy and paste.
Oh, here she comes.
There she is.
Let's see. So why don't you do the weather forecast right now and see if Mary Beth approves?
Oh no, she would absolutely not approve of. I don't even know the terms. I'm not ready to go.
Okay, so what did
and be some of our friends from the South towns
asking about Hamburg? Did they ask about Hamburg?
Hamburg will likely get some snow, I'd say, in the next several hours. Now, the forecast is for an extra 6 to 12 inches tonight, but it depends how quickly this band moves. If it moves faster into the southern half of Erie County, you'll see lesser amounts, but you'll definitely pick up at least several more inches of snow. We're not looking for multiple feet of snow. At best, you would get a foot of snow, but I would say somewhere between 3 and 8 inches of snow.
We've got about 15 seconds, then we're going back on TV. Of course, we're online all the time.
Right.
And we're going to talk to Gary Dixon in West Seneca. How is it out there? What are these? Well, we'll talk about it in a second, as soon as we.
Should I stay?
Yes, say. All right, so I was just talking about West Seneca before the break, and now we have Gary Dixon joining us from West Seneca. I spoke with him yesterday. Gary, how is it out there?
So far, so good. We have worked very hard over today to get rid of that 36 inches of snow that was dumped on us last night, and I think I just talked to the highway superintendent. I think we're doing quite well. Most of the residential streets should be open. All of the main streets are more or less curb to curb. So as far as that goes, we're good. We are looking at the weather forecast, which shows possible more snow, or definitely more snow on our way. And we just hope that band runs through us quickly.
Now, yesterday you were talking about you didn't think there should be can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
You didn't think there should be a travel ban because you wanted the private plows to be able to get out. What is the situation there today? Are the private plows getting out where they need to be?
Well, when I woke up at 5:30 this morning, with 3 feet of new snow on the ground, I think definitely a travel ban at that case was justified. And when I talked to the county executive this morning, I said, yes, I support a ban, but please exempt the private snowplow trucks. And he did. So they've been out all day today, working to open up people's driveways. And as far as I can tell, everything's going pretty well.
Yes. What are you hearing from residents, and what are you hearing?
In general, I think people understand that you don't remove that amount of snow overnight or right away. It takes time, and I think the vast majority of people are quite understanding. And there is a travel ban, so there's really no place to go unless there's some urgent need that you have to go. I have driven around town, and it looks pretty good. And certainly people have to, it's their responsibility to get their own driveway done. So, and if you're on a street like I live on, Union Road, you've got a lot of snow from the plows that have gone by and buried you, and maybe you have 6 feet of snow at the end of your driveway. So that's certainly a challenge, but it's not nothing we haven't dealt with before.
Yeah, this is something Western New York tends to go through, but I think there's a lot of frustration, for people who have been stuck in this. Are you feeling that as well? Can you hear me okay, Gary?
Yes, I hear you fine. No, I agree. There's frustration, but I think, like I said, the majority of people are, completely understand and appreciate the work that the highway department does.
How are you feeling going into the next couple of hours and into tomorrow?
Well, we're just keeping our fingers crossed. Some of the predictions are, another foot of snow, and whatever Mother Nature throws at us, we'll deal with. We'd like it to be less than more. And then, after the wave goes through the band, I understand there's going to be just general snowing throughout the region. So, again, that's something that people who've grown up in this region have, this is not their first rodeo. Our highway department dealt with, the storms last year. They dealt with 2014, and we're going to deal with this. And like I say, into next week, we got 40 degrees. And then we're going to be thinking about flooding. So, all these things are something we deal with.
Yes, that's right. It's part of it. Part of life in Western New York.
We know it. We may not love it all the time, but we know how to deal with it. Gary Dixon from West Seneca, thank you so much for joining us.
All you guys are doing out there and keeping us all informed as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Let's check back in now with meteorologist Mary Beth Roble to answer some of these questions. A lot of people in different communities wondering, when is this going to end? How much more are we going to get? We will pull up some of those questions for you, but a lot of people in Blaisdell wondering, how much more are they going to get? They've really been pounded.
Well, I have to say, in the last half hour or so, I'm seeing some really nice improvements on the radar. If we can take the radar screen full right now, I want to show you the ragged nature of the lake effect snow band. It is not a solid line anymore like it was with those dark blues. We're seeing those dark blues now, though, now spreading into Genesee and Orleans counties around Newstead into Alabama, Medina, Rapids, seeing an end to the heavier snow there. But if you look in the metro area, Tonawanda down toward Orchard Park, we're seeing a lot of light scattered snow showers. This is not a solid lake effect snow band. So maybe this band is losing some of its power. And as it cruises to the south, maybe the amounts are not going to be quite as heavy. That's the way it looks right now. So right now, the forecast is calling for an extra 6 to 12 inches. I may go on the lower end of that and say maybe like 3 to 8 inches.
Okay.
If this continues, this trend continues, because the models are actually showing a solid line intensifying, and that does not look like what's happening right now on the radar. And we have to go with what we have the here and now.
Someone asked earlier about traveling on the throughway. Do you think that'll continue to be tough?
Right now, the throughway is dry. Going eastward and southward, there are no problems, whether you're going to Rochester or down toward the Pennsylvania state line. In fact, there's sunshine in a lot of locations. The snow is really concentrated to the north and east of Buffalo of the throughway right now. So this is where I'm showing you right now on the radar. This is where the travel troubles are. But if I zoom it out, look at how free and clear the rest of Western New York is. Easy going. And you know what? This day really offered a nice opportunity for those hardest hit areas south of Buffalo to do the cleanup, because you weren't dealing with falling snow. Yeah, you had the gusty winds and everything, but at least you had dry conditions. So this was good news.
I mean, how often are you updating that forecast? How quickly has this been changing?
It seems like it's changing every half
You're busy.
hour.
I mean, I couldn't even talk to you yesterday.
Yeah.
You were so busy.
Well, this band at this time looked like the models earlier today had this band really solidifying through the evening rush hour. That's not what's happening on radar right now.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep our fingers crossed.
It changed that fast.
Hope this trend continues.
What we're looking at here is the 33 at Walden. And this is what people have been dealing with all day on the roads. You can see, or maybe you can't see, because a lot of this.
Well, the thing is, it looks like it's snowing, but it may not be. It's just that this snow is so light and fluffy. It flies all over the place when you get these winds going on. So it's blowing and drifting snow, not always falling snow in these locations.
We just heard some snow or something
was that?
up on our roof.
Could
I
have
have
been
no
ice.
idea.
May
Was
have
it
been
ice?
Could
I don't
have
know if
been.
you heard that at home. Kayla said, keep an eye on your dogs. keep it short and brief outside.
Yes.
We have
And check
little,
on your senior neighbors too.
right, we have little dogs, so when the wind is whipping, they only weigh about 4 or 5 pounds, so.
Yeah, we're
They
hearing
go
definitely
with
some
it.
of the elements hitting our studio
Some
here
gusty
outside.
These are not
Um,
sound effects. that we've-
Victor says snowing and blowing in Depew right now.
And one other thing about these gusty winds right now, sometimes the winds will rip apart a lake effect snow band too, because the winds are not aligned. They're
Okay.
twisting and turning.
So the wind is helping?
It probably is helping
Okay.
to disintegrate this lake effect snow band at this time.
Well, then come on, wind.
right.
Get in here.
Exactly.
Help us
right.
out. Yeah, I mean, Mary Beth's saying hopefully some good news on the way. It
Yep.
might be weakening, but I believe it was Grace who said it is Buffalo. You never know at this point. We live here, we deal with this, and you never know what
We'll
you're going
get
to see.
through it for sure.
Yeah.
We'll deal
Absolutely.
with it.
Nikki says she's paying for hospital personnel that are stuck in the hospital away from their families. I know
Yes.
many of us know some of these essential workers are healthcare heroes that we like
Thank
to
you
call.
for all your service.
We, of course, thank you for everything that you do, but a lot of nurses are stuck and trapped who've been working for hours and hours on end. It's
And we know that how scary it can be driving in
Right.
it, because of
Yeah.
course it is the whipping winds and the snow blowing for the
And of
visibility.
course,
That was
our
the issue.
fearless cleanup crew, that's the shovelers and
Yes.
the snow plowers.
Yeah.
You know, they got a
Yes.
tough job
They all
out there.
deserve a big
good neighbors.
thank you.
A lot of people saying to check on your senior neighbors.
Yes.
If you live near anyone who
absolutely.
may not have had the chance to maybe clear out near their furnace and clear out part of their house, their driveway, check on them, make sure they're
Or even
okay.
go to the store to get
Yes.
food or meds.
Make sure they
right?
have something to eat, everything that they need. So just check in. on
Pretty
your
chilly
loved ones and
here in Orchard Park, says Kylie. So when we talk about temperatures, I saw that there was a
Oh, you can see on the camera here on the 33,
Oh, wow.
all the plows coming through and then a band of cars lining up right behind them. So they've been working around the clock to try to make it clear on those highways
Well, you
and,
can
and
see
areas.
the pavement now, so this is great
Good news.
news.
Much improved
Yes,
from
it
when
is.
we all drove in this
Absolutely
morning.
Right.
Yeah. And you were talking about the temperatures. They look to be going up as the week goes on,
They will
right?
be going up, so the salt will probably work better, because sometimes the salt is not as effective when the temperatures get into the single numbers.
Mm.
So as it goes up, I think the salt is going to do a better job of helping to ease the flow of traffic.
Well, it looks like it's, not many cars out there right
Yeah.
now. for
A lot of
obvious
people
reasons.
really have been, as what we've been hearing, obeying these travel advisories and travel bans, staying at home, enjoying a couple snow days, and becoming some
Yes.
homebodies.
Hopefully you're safe and warm, and we thank you for watching. I think we're going to send it to break.
We'll send it to break for our folks on TV, folks on streaming. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Gotcha. We can update our friend Amber, who says, where are the current travel bans? Would you be able to pull up the latest again here?
Okay.
Okay, do you need me out here still?
Perfect.
I think we're okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I'll
If you
just
want
yell.
me, call me back.
Just yell.
Okay, Amber, here is the latest travel ban wise. Buffalo, only south of Broadway, has a travel ban. So, southern part of the city, Cheektowaga, Lackawanna, Lancaster, Hamburg, Orchard Park, West Seneca, North Tonawanda only. That's where the travel bans are right now. The rest of the county, though, still in a travel advisory. So, it's not that you can't drive, but you shouldn't drive in some of those areas. But I think take caution, no matter
yes.
what.
Like the West Seneca Town Supervisor said to me yesterday, he feels that most of his residents, if not all, have the common sense and know enough that they shouldn't go out. But I think when there's not a ban per se, that some employers still expect the non-essential employees. So that's where there's a little bit of concern.
And then there's concern with people who are coming into our area, right? So who may not know, who are just driving through on the throughway, some of those tractor trailers, which is, are banned from the highways at this point. Dealing with people who just maybe aren't aware of what we have to go through here with this lake effect on our roads. You can see here, this is the 33 at Walden, more plows.
More plows, so many plows.
Through. I think we saw 4 or 5 a couple minutes ago. Can only imagine the number that of plows that have been out there all day long. It's a much easier go than what we saw earlier in the day so far for this afternoon into evening commute, because all the roads were white earlier this morning. I was only able to really go 20 coming in down Main Street. I know you were coming in and it was tough.
I was taking back roads from Amherst. I was too nervous to get on the highway. And I don't know if the back roads was the right thing to do, because there was so much blowing and drifting snow, but I made it here. Took about 45 minutes. Usually it takes me about 20.
Right.
But thankfully, we have an employer who is like, take your time, be safe. And, a lot of people are trying to rush to get somewhere, and you can't do that.
Yeah, there's
in
no
these
rushing
conditions.
allowed here today. Candace
at all.
says, is that snow ban coming back to the city of Buffalo like it was early? Candace, we will get Mary Beth back in here to answer that
Just when she
professionally.
gets.
But from my not meteorology,
You're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm trying my
You're doing
best.
pretty well.
I believe it is going to come back down. Not sure if it's going to be as intense as it was earlier. Mary Beth pointed out that there might be some good news, and the wind might be breaking the system up, so the band might weaken as it comes back down. Of course, our fingers are crossed that we will get a break here and get to shovel some things out. But
yeah.
Yeah,
and Kayla writing, local schools already canceled for tomorrow. Thank you for keeping our youth safe. I just remember when my boys were little and there was a snow day, and I was working a night shift then, so I was able to
under the pillow
play all day. So enjoy it, parents, while you can.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Taylor Epps, Leah Lando, keeping you updated on what's going on in your community as we change from afternoon into evening and deal with this lake effect snowstorm, this band that has just been towering over the city of Buffalo and all of Western New York for all of today and this morning and into this afternoon. Hopefully it will weaken. We just heard from Mary Beth Roble, who said that she believes we could be in for good news as it shifts, that it might weaken. But we do want to catch you up on the latest here and everything that we know. There are some travel bans that are in effect, and they are for Buffalo in the part of the city just south of Broadway. They're in the town of Hamburg, Orchard Park, Lackawanna, Cheektowaga, Lancaster, West Seneca, and North Tonawanda. That Sabres game that was supposed to happen at 7:30 tonight, now happening at 7 o'clock tomorrow. And then we did hear, unfortunately, from the county executive earlier today that there have been 3 storm-related deaths since this past weekend.
Yeah, so heartbreaking when we hear that. And that's why they're taking all these extra precautions to keep everyone safe and stay off the roads. And sometimes you don't have to wait for an official to tell you to stay off the road. You can just look and see. Common sense will tell you it's not safe to go somewhere, especially if you're not. The highway superintendent in West Seneca said yesterday, his message to everybody out there after all the work that they've been doing, if you're not confident driving in it, even if there's not a ban, then don't do it, because it can be nerve-wracking. I mean, yesterday I was driving, both hands on the wheel and shaking, because it just, I didn't know when there was going to be another moment where I couldn't see a single thing. So.
And you never know what you're going to approach if you can't see headlights and there's a car on the side of the road. You put your 4-way flashers on and you hope, I can make it to my destination, but it can really be scary. And we do want to hear from you guys at home on what your experiences have been like over the past couple days. Chime in on Facebook or X or Instagram, wherever you are getting your information from us, and let us know what you're experiencing, what you're seeing outside of your window, what you're hearing from your neighbors, as we've been going through this entire thing, because we share in this experience, right? Like sometimes we commiserate, sometimes we make fun out of it, but we want to hear how you're going through this and how you're going to get through the next day or so as we try to dry out and get through it.
I mean, communication is so important, right? And we've seen that, especially with these major snowstorms. And if there's ever a time to watch the news, it's now, because this system keeps changing, as Mary Beth said. And then I got an alert earlier from my son's school district, Williamsville, no school Thursday, January 18th. Today's Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday.
Wow.
It was supposed to be the
blending,
3-day
right?
weekend with MLK Day on Monday. It's turned into, pretty much maybe just Friday if they do go to school on Friday.
All Thursday student and district activities also canceled. So we're already getting cancellations for tomorrow.
Yeah, we are looking at one of the cameras here. Which street is this, or which exit? This is the 290 near the Blue Water Tower that you can see here. Much clearer. You can see the pavement. We saw a lot of those plows out there hammering the streets, trying to get it clear for drivers. Not a lot of drivers, but the pavement is clear, which is good news to see after what we've been dealing with all day long with roads that have been so tough to travel on. A lot of our officials really saying this is another all hands on deck kind of situation. It's interesting to see the difference from this weekend to today, right? This weekend, it was a shutdown, almost essentially. Travel bans throughout the county. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. Coming into today, we're dealing with, a progressive situation where travel bans started as the commute was going on, and people had questions of, should we have started that earlier? Should we have kept travel bans for the entire area? These cameras that we are going to show you are from NITEC, and NITEC, got to speak with them earlier, and she kind of got to let me in a little. Athena, who's the executive director there, spoke to me about how they play the middleman, right? They have all these cameras and show people what's going on, and they report to the different agencies that make all these decisions and show them what's going on in their community. This is the 33 that we just showed you, where we could see all those plows coming through, and you can see it's much harder to see with that fluffy lake effect snow flying out through there. Are we able to play the soundbite from my conversation with NITEC earlier about the travel advisories? In a minute, we'll hear from Athena about that, but it can be confusing for drivers to.
I'll tell you, I mean, you were talking about the weather over the weekend, and I was trying to figure out what day it was, because it's just all blended together, especially with the Bills game being moved, and we went to the Bills game, and just a pure example of how unbelievable our weather system can be. Driving to the stadium, it was like blue skies just over the stadium. I'm sure a lot of you noticed that, but around it, it was all clouds. It was actually a beautiful sight, and of course, a wonderful game. Let's do it again on Sunday. So here's what you were referencing.
Yes, this is Athena from NITEC. I asked if she felt like people were obeying the travel advisory, travel ban into the morning, and here's what she had to say.
Yes and no. I think, it seemed to work well over the weekend when there was the entire travel ban for Erie County. I think it's different now when, we didn't have a county-wide travel ban. It's just various areas. So I think it gets confusing to the traveling public on where they can and cannot travel. It's a matter of people paying attention and getting information before they venture out.
What a good point. And Julie, the comment we just put up, she said it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that you can't go out. But, thinking back to that horrible blizzard that we had over Christmas last year, or 2 years ago, what was it, 2022? Who knows
what day
whatever,
you were
right? And I was here at the station. Many of us here at Channel 7 were here sleeping, spending the night, answering phones from people who were stuck in their vehicles. And a lot of people just didn't know. So they went out. So they clearly weren't doing what, we all have a responsibility, I think, to inform ourselves. Right. So
to know what's going on.
Not to sound like a broken record, but watch the
news.
No,
I know, yeah.
Watch
tune into us, and we thank you
Stay safe.
And this is why we do this, right? Mm-hmm. We don't usually have a newscast or break in on Facebook or social media at 4:00, but for the past 47 minutes, we've been chiming in and hearing from so many people, whether, this frustration or they're making the most out of this. Some people are talking now about what they're making for dinner. I think someone said they got the goulash on the stove.
This isn't fair. Now we're hungry.
Now we're hungry. Kayla says she's making ribs and mashed potatoes tonight, trying to make the most of being snowed in. Food.
What do you like to make if you're ever stuck at home?
Last night I made some enchiladas. You want to see a picture?
Oh, yes, I do want to see a picture.
They were really good.
Can they see it?
Oh, yeah, we can find a way to get it in there. But there's some enchiladas that I made. They're really good. And we'll see if I can get my baking chops. I'm a cookbook queen, so once I get back home to my dog.
All right, homemade pasta. If you want to make homemade pasta and you have ricotta cheese at home, do some ricotta cheese, egg whites, flour, olive oil, seasoning.
Ooh, our friend from 7 Life, Mercedes Wilson, she uses air fried chicken and veggies over here. She's being healthy.
All right, Mercedes, no commenting unless you bring in what you made.
You know where we are. You know where we work. Mary said dinner, she made stuffed peppers. Cheryl said making shake and bake chicken tenders. What does that mean?
Well, you shake and bake. You put the chicken in the bag with the shake and bake stuff and coat it. Okay. You never made that?
Kayla asked a question. Does anyone know if churches are open so we can pray for our essential workers? I know that over the weekend, the diocese told us that they were asking people to worship from home, not to try to go to Sunday Mass, to just keep everyone as safe as possible. We'll check in on that and see what parishes and churches in the area are doing. But a lot of them have remained closed throughout all of this just to make sure that people stay as safe as possible and connect through social media like we're doing right now. Use social media, Facebook, and there's a lot of live stream services or prayers that people can tap into to make sure that they're staying spiritually in touch during these trying times.
Everyone got really good at that during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
Holding everything online. And then according to Mary Beth's forecast, it looks like Sunday doesn't seem like it looks like it's better. Mary Beth, we're going to call her.
We're calling Mary Beth back, but Katie asked what we're showing right now. This is the 33. That was the Walden exit there, but Mary Beth's going to come back and answer some more of your questions as we get through here.
I'm calling her right now, but you've become a great meteorologist through all of this.
Here's our super 7-day forecast. We've got
You've been
forecast.
Mary Beth, you coming in?
It's a super 7-day forecast.
So we've got you playing meteorologist, Matt Beauvais is a reporter. This is
forecast.
teamwork.
big team.
We're winging it here in
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah, it's going to turn nicer over the weekend. It's going to turn a little bit milder when you call 26 mild compared to 15, right?
You know, you're in the heart of winter.
Yeah, but it should be nice at the game with temperatures. Well, that's the daytime high, 26. So at game time, it'll probably be about 20, but still not too bad. It doesn't
See
look too windy.
sun on that little.
Yeah, it is going to be a dry day. Monday's going to look like a really nice day too. And then we turn warmer on Tuesday and Wednesday with rain and a wet snow mix. And again, not good for the lakes, not good for flooding concerns, but we'll just visit that next week. But let's just enjoy our time to dry out this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how's that system looking now for the commute?
I still think that it doesn't look too bad on radar. If I can go back to the radar, let me see if I can pull that back here. It's actually on weather too. Yeah, we have just some scattered snow showers here in the metro area now. Even in the south towns, just some light snow, nothing super heavy. Right now, the heaviest snow is over Genesee County, right on the Genesee-Orleans County borderline. But this system looks like it's getting a little bit more ragged now because of these strong gusty winds. And the lake effect snow band sometimes has a tough time to just shoot out snow with twisting and turning winds in the atmosphere. That's probably what's happening right now. So I know it's there's a lot of blowing and drifting snow, but it's helping the snow band to turn a little bit more ragged.
Break it up.
Yes. Yeah.
Gonna put it through a blender.
Yeah,
and
right.
chop it up like that.
That's an
make a
official
smoothie out of it.
meteorological term.
Yeah, just try to take it back to the kitchen if you will. I think we're all hungry.
I think, you're not. It's because
little
everyone's
hungry.
posting about eating on here.
Exactly.
Homemade turkey soup and cornbread. All right, Candace, bring it over.
And I have a quick update too. Febin just sent me this update from the NFTA. We're hearing that apart from South Buffalo, bus services are operational, right? They do have suspended express trips due to the weather conditions, but bus service still up and running except for South Buffalo. No issues with the rail service. So the Metro Rail is completely operational for the NFTA. They have just over 180 scheduled paratransit trips. Clients canceling, though, a lot of those trips because of the weather. And of course, that is to be expected. As far as the airport goes, all flights right now are canceled out of the Buffalo airport except for 3 Delta inbound flights. Expecting flights to start going back out tomorrow morning around 8 a.m.
Wow.
Airport's still open, main runway in good shape. They've been working around the clock to make sure that runway is clear, but it's the airlines who end up canceling the flights.
And you spoke with?
I spoke with Kelly Khatib a little earlier. This is the latest information that she got us. She's a spokesperson for the NFTA. And her priority, I asked, what's number one right now for the NFTA? And they said it's safety.
From the
making sure we can get everyone to their destination safely, which is why they're not operating in the southern areas in the city of Buffalo. But they're operating in the other areas so that people can get to and from. Airport remains open. Everyone who's working there is safe and good to go. They just can't really bring that many flights in right now. It's just those 3 Delta inbound flights that are still scheduled. Otherwise, the big board just canceled all the way down.
Yes. Eric's writing, I shovel my snow, but the wind keeps blowing it back. It's really annoying. If you catch my drift, that's funny.
That's the worst part, right? You're clearing off and you get a big
work,
brush
all
and
your hard work
brushes back into your face.
I guess it's a good workout as long as you can handle it physically.
Cheryl says, where are the plows in South Buffalo? The side streets need help. I know a lot of those side streets and those other streets, really, it takes a long time for them to get hit and for the city to come through those streets. So hopefully we can see a plow there soon. It's also been a little bit with the last update that we got from officials was a little earlier today, probably around noon. So hopefully in the next couple of hours or so, maybe we'll be able to check back in and get you some answers to when those side streets will get hit. Because I know a lot of people might look to get out of the house tomorrow and they want to make sure that they can get through without getting their car stuck.
Yeah, and someone in West Seneca commented just a little while ago about how great the crews are doing there to keep everything clear. Renee thanking us. Thank you, Renee, for thanking us.
Yeah, Kathy says, stay safe, y'all. Stay safe, everybody. We thank you all for being a part of this and sharing with us and sharing your experiences and tuning in and staying informed, right? Because the more informed that we all are, the better that we can be as a community, and we can all dig out of this that much faster.
Right. And then we see Jeff Russo off to the side here, waiting for our 5 o'clock
He's waiting in the wings.
newscast. You can come in, Jeff. It's okay. It's a very, it's not invite only.
No, you can come in.
Everybody's invited.
BYOI, bring your own
Here we
iPad.
go.
Great job over here today.
Thank you. So we're getting ready to do the
Everyone
5
out there.
o'clock news.
Join us, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
So
5
minutes
minutes
at
away.
5. We got
Yes.
a complete recap.
What'd you do
All the
today?
stuff. Down in South Buffalo. Over 5 feet of snow now over the 4-day period, 60.5 inches. So talking to community members digging out. Actually, I put my snow
Yeah,
boots
you
on
did.
earlier today and they remain on somehow, some way.
You're getting some shout outs. People are saying,
There
Russo.
you go. Thanks, guys. I misplaced my shoes, so now I have my snow boots on for the show tonight, but it seems that it was that kind of day.
You lost the shoes?
Apparently.
You came in today, you lost the jacket. You didn't have the jacket. Now you lost
It's been one of
the
those
shoes.
weeks for everyone, right?
I mean, can we just take a minute to acknowledge how hard you've been working? How hard you've been
no,
working?
No, it's everyone.
No, seriously,
it's-
like going out there and seeing what people. You're not just coming on air and talking to people. You're
Well,
talking
it's
with
different
people.
when you go into a community to see what a community is doing,
Right.
Right, and they are banding together in South Buffalo. I know in other parts of Western New York, just trying to get everybody through, trying to make through into the second dose of winter weather. If I get a moment here, we have a second? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I want to shout out all meteorologists.
Yes.
When we hear
Oh,
the
100%.
news,
Yes, I
but
agree.
all across Western New York that have been working around the clock to try and keep us all safe and informed. So, all meteorologists out there, thank you for doing what you do best and let us know where to be, where the travel ban should be in effect, and so meteorologists.
I was thinking
Hand.
about that too, because like I mentioned, I think about my sister, she's in a nursing home, and I think about all the people who have to get there to make sure she gets her life-saving medication. And then I think about all of us who come here and all of our people across the board at different stations as well.
But
Doing a great
nothing
job.
we'd all rather be doing, right, than helping our
Being a
community
part of this
out and being a
right.
part of
Keeping
this.
folks informed.
Yeah.
And you do that best by going out into the community.
And you had snow where? Like up to here?
snow up to my waist. You'll see it coming up at
This
5
is
o'clock
it.
down there in South Buffalo. So,
You were smarter than I was yesterday. You actually were. I mean, it's not like I haven't been doing this 300 years,
Sure,
but of
sure.
course I didn't bring my snowsuit or anything. I just had
over time, you start, snow pants.
over time. No, I should have
Michael
learned.
Schwartz has
I
the
know.
goggles. I've been thinking about investing in the goggles. I think he looks
That's
cool
next.
in those. That's next.
The
yes.
snow goggles.
Ski goggles. Get out.
Yeah,
You got to keep your eyes safe as well.
yeah, you
Ready for
do.
anything.
Someone shovel out
Folks.
Josh Allen. Josh will get
Yeah.
out. Yeah, you know what? Josh Allen doesn't need to be shoveled out. What he does is he just goes out his door and
Runs
hurtles
through it.
right over everything. That's all it takes.
Right over that.
Yes.
All right, I'll let you guys wrap this up. 7 News at 5 coming up in just a couple minutes
Yes, ma'am.
on ABC.
Jeff Russo. Thank you guys so much. We've had so much fun, and we've really appreciated getting to hang out with you here and hear about how it's going in your communities, keeping you informed. Make sure you keep watching us for 7 News at 5. Then we have Voices at 5:30 and 7 News at 6. For Leah Lando, I'm Taylor Epps. Thank you so much. We'll have the news coming back in just a bit.
Am I going to?
Like 2 minutes.
I have not read a
One.
single thing.
Me either.
Like not a single thing.
Anybody need anything?
And I'm a disaster. I don't know. Am I going like over?